Welcome to this explainer. We are diving right in today because we have a truly paradigm-shifting way to view your unique gift. If you're a civilizational architect, a founder, or just a deep systems thinker, you have probably experienced the absolute structural failure of trying to prove your vision to skeptics. It's exhausting, right? Well, today we're going to dismantle that systemic error completely. We're going to show you exactly how to transition from being an accidental martyr to an unapologetic visionary steward. So ask yourself, why do visionaries destroy themselves trying to convince the people around them? Look, you carry a massive, complex pattern. It's literally a structural pressure from the future. But when you try to interface with a social fabric that simply doesn't have the architecture to see it yet, you create immense friction. And this isn't just an emotional drain. It actually triggers a vicious systemic cycle of burnout and drastically misallocated energy. Which leads us to Section 1, the Visionary's Dilemma. When you're building something totally unconventional, like a new meta-architecture for human potential, your closest circles often just can't process it. And the etymology here is actually fascinating. Visionaries are so often accused of joining a sect or being ideologically captured. Historically, that word comes from the Latin secci, which means a path followed. But symbolically, the field associates it with secare, to cut off. They don't look at your high-risk allocation of talent and see a calling. No. They see you as structurally isolating yourself from reality. To cope with this massive misrecognition, visionaries end up accidentally martyring themselves. We usually think of sacrifice as self-harm or loss, right? But look at the original Latin roots. Sacer means sacred, and facere means to make. Sacrifice literally means to consecrate. It's an exchange of value to protect what is precious. It is absolutely not the destruction of the very instrument you need to actually operate and contribute. So what happens is visionaries trade their original sacred path for this modern habit of total self-abandonment. We mistakenly equate self-erasure with loyalty. We tell ourselves, okay, I'll just suspend my systemic unfolding until everyone around me catches up. But honestly, that is a profound operational distortion, and it aggressively consumes your life force. Let's break that down in Section 2, the false causal chain. We really need to expose the structural glitch in nervous system economics driving this destructive habit. This is the flawed loop you might be operating on. Step 1, recognition. Step 2, permission. Step 3, confidence. And finally, Step 4, creation. Your nervous system has tricked you into believing that once your closest people recognize your vision is real and give you their support, you'll finally have the confidence to build it. You literally make non-believers the gatekeepers of your structural integrity. But if they don't have the capacity to see it, you never get to Step 4. You're just endlessly stuck in that loop. And because you're stuck waiting, you create this massive energy leak. You spend the literal source of your gift trying to change the architecture of the field around you. You over-explain, you defend, you wait around for approval. You start treating your own attention and discernment like an inexhaustible public resource, making 1,000 tiny withdrawals to solve things for others. Your gift gets trapped in this cycle of proving, spending your life force as evidence in a court full of skeptics. Here is the structural tragedy of it all. The causal arrow is completely reversed. The world has become upstream of the gift. By seeking recognition before creation, you are mechanically trying to pull water uphill. The source starts waiting for permission from the ocean. You're slowly consuming the exact ecology that allows your gift to exist in the first place, all while just trying to turn an incapable system into a supportive one. So how do we fix this? That brings us to Section 3, the ecology of the gift. I absolutely love this quote. The orchard was never waiting for permission to bear fruit. Only the gardener was. Think about that. A living gift isn't an argument you need to win. It's a seed, and it requires the right soil. From a pure physics standpoint, you cannot force concrete to become soil no matter how much you water it. Explaining yourself over and over is basically just pouring your precious energy onto pavement, driven by this desperate hope that you can magically change a concrete field into a nourishing ecology. Instead, here is the healthy, inverted systemic sequence. 1, stewardship. 2, practice. 3, fruit. 4, recognition. This is how reality actually operates. Recognition is a downstream byproduct, guys. It's not a prerequisite. You protect the gift, you practice it, it bears fruit, and eventually the architecture of reality will recognize that fruit. Our bedrock systemic law here is this. A living gift can flourish only if the ecology that generates it is protected before the ecology around it is transformed. Think about a mountain spring. Thousands of people downstream depend on it. But if that spring exhausts itself trying to pump water uphill to feed the ocean, or it lets its source be dug up for immediate consumption, the spring disappears. It's a total system failure. Everybody loses.
This leads perfectly into Section 4, becoming the steward.
The big transition here requires you to shift from being a guardian of relationships to becoming the fierce guardian of the source. The martyr asks, "How much can I give?" But the steward asks, "What must be protected?" The martyr confusingly equates systemic depletion with devotion. They will literally starve the golden goose just to keep the surrounding system comfortable. The steward, on the other hand, unapologetically protects the source because they know that without it, the entire architecture collapses. Protecting your source isn't selfish, it is operational priority number one. A gift does not become true when it is believed. It becomes undeniable when it has been stewarded long enough to bear fruit. When you fiercely protect the source, reality itself eventually speaks on behalf of your gift. The authority shifts away from your desperate explanations directly to the undeniable proof of execution. At that point, external proof becomes completely unnecessary. The alchemy of stewardship demands a few key operational shifts. First, you have to stop explaining to the wrong field. Just stop spending the source to prove the gift. Second, cultivate your unique living process. Third, place your gift in nourishing soil, because ecology is absolutely everything. And fourth, let reality be the ultimate judge. Becoming an unapologetic steward means you finally free up your life force to actually build your civilizational architecture. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to replace your need for recognition with one final, provocative question. Is this environment capable of helping what I bring become more alive? Don't ask if they understand you. Ask if the ecology actually increases your capacity and aliveness. It's time to pivot away from structural doubt, step fully into your ecological intelligence, and go be the steward your gift is so desperately waiting for.